Welcome to Joe's Atmosphere.
Cook your shrimp, please. All of a sudden, my shrimp pan is burning up like a smoke fest.
All right, boys and girls, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got Dune Part 2 arriving this weekend. We got the pop culture update as usual, and we got the Noc List making its triumphant return tonight on State of the Atmosphere. All right, it's time for State of the Atmosphere. I'm your host, Joe's Atmosphere. It's good to see you. And as usual, I've got my friend Noc along. What's going on, man?
Hey, not bad, not bad. Excited for this weekend.
Yeah, man, me too. We're going to talk about that at length later on for sure, because it's the movie that I've been hyped for for a while, ever since the first one came out, man. First one was the measuring stick for me, just to see what he was going to do with it. And from what I understand, well, we'll get into it when we talk about it. I don't want to get on that tangent.
My next 3 weekends are booked.
Are they? No kidding. Yeah,
so,
you've got.
Yeah.
I want a full report, man. I want pictures and the whole 9 yards. I want to see.
Yeah, with the Friday on Friday, a buddy of mine or a coworker of mine is celebrating his 1 year retirement. He's retired for 1 whole year, so we're doing that Friday night, and then of course Sunday. So yeah.
All right, man.
And then I got the event.
Of course, the first guy in tonight, as usual, was.
There are some who call me Tim.
That's right, Tim. Talking about man who farts in church sits in his own pew. Yes, he does. No kidding. We got E. Clay Thomas in tonight as well. How you doing? Das Wolfen is getting off work, so he'll be with us in a little bit. But anyway, yeah, we got a bunch to talk about tonight, man. We got, of course, we're going to start with the pop culture update, which includes the passing of an icon. We'll talk about that. And then after that, we're going to talk about the Doom hype, man. Can't wait. Of course, next week we'll have a full review plus the whole list of the March movies. And then Ron actually has some reviews for us on the Noc List. Football season's over.
Finally have some time on Sundays, to actually do other stuff.
So we got a good lineup for you tonight. So let's get started with this pop culture update. Of course, things just get worse for Disney as it goes along. I don't know what it is with that place. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot. I don't know what's going on over there, but we got this story right here. The Marvel star Brie Larson shares a blunt response when asked about her future as Captain Marvel. It looks like she may be on the outs with Marvel. She there's a quote she's got down here. She says, "I don't have anything to say about that." When she was asked about playing Captain Marvel again, she said, "I don't want Marvel to come for me, but there is something. There is definitely something to answer your question that I would want to say, but I am not going to." So, yeah, this article comes from comicbookmovie.com. Go check that out at your leisure. But not only that, but they just lost the guy behind most of their movies. Top Disney movie boss steps down in shakeup. This fella's name is Sean Bailey. He's stepping down after a decade and a half in the role as movie production president. So, and you know, guys, if you don't know why they're making him step down, well, all you have to do is look at their 2023. They lost $1 billion. There's 4 different movies that were big flops for them, and that I would say is the reason why he's on the out. And this article in Forbes tells you all about the 4 flops. It was Indiana Jones, Ant-Man Quantumania, Little Mermaid, and Secret Invasion, the television show. So, and all of them are understandable if you've seen them. I haven't seen the Indiana Jones movie. I had no interest in it. But
I'm not a big Indiana Jones fan, so yeah.
Yeah,
I think I've seen the first
Dad's
one
movies, right? Didn't you tell me that once? That's
definitely
stuff your dad
definitely.
watches. Yeah,
I don't think he's watching the new ones, but I don't know if there's a reason for that.
Yeah, well, I tell you, man, they're just look. The whole place is in turmoil over there. They've lost so much money in the last year on all these projects they were banking on to make a bunch of money, and their production costs have gone through the roof too. I think I read somewhere that the budget for Dune 2 is like 165 million, and it's
That's
less
not
than
bad.
the Marvels was, and the
Yeah,
Marvels
160.
was like around.
I think most of the movies are usually over 200, so 160. That's not bad.
No, it's
A cheaper
crazy.
movie is like around 100,
Mm-hmm.
below. But
No. I got that wrong. It was the first movie. The first Dune movie was 165 million, and
right,
and
yeah.
the new one is a bigger budget, but it's still under the $300 million it took to make the Marvels.
Yeah, but we know they're gonna get their money on that one.
Jeez, man, wow.
I don't know if it's gonna go Deadpool crazy, but
Well, what I'm sitting there saying is, where was all the money spent for the Marvels? I mean, where did they spend that money at?
the shitty CGI.
I mean, what the? They're definitely not getting banged for their buck from the from Mr. Sean Bailey, the president of the ex-president of the motion picture production side of Disney. So, yeah, it's perfectly understandable.
Did you grab the box office for this last weekend?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to grab that. Let's grab that real quick and take a look at it.
I'm a little curious of what where Madam Web is sitting at right now. I know it's not Marvel, but it's not
it's
Disney,
Sony.
But
it's Sony. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, dude, they're still trashing that movie. My God, it's like they've got a super hard on for that one.
Yeah. It's funny. Like I said, and thinking back on it, I'm still not thinking it's that bad of a movie. I don't know.
It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not the greatest thing ever either.
No. But I don't think if it's not amazing, it means it's a bad movie.
Right.
I just think it's
Okay. Yeah, here it is, buddy. We got it here. Hang on. Let me go ahead and pop it back up there. Oh shit! I'm hitting all the wrong buttons, folks. Hang on. It's live television for you. Live YouTube. Okay, here we go. Number 1 was Bob Marley, One Love. But look, it only made 13 million. It's not knocking it out of the park.
I think everyone's waiting for Dune 2 at this point.
Yeah, nobody's going to the movies. I mean, look, number 5, it only made 2.8 million. and it's a movie from Christmas time.
That thing's been out forever. It's 120 million.
Madam Web didn't make 6 million, and look, it's only made 35 domestically. Altogether, I think I read somewhere that it's made 72 altogether. It may not hit 100 million, man, and it's just
crazy.
a total failure for that.
And you know who's blamed? Men.
Yeah, it's all us. It's all us racist and
women-hating men.
Guns. Yeah,
you sons of bitches. Which is funny because I actually went and paid
and right.
Saw it, but
actually, I didn't have the chance to. I would have paid to go see it, but I didn't have the chance to. I was a little too busy this last week. The weekend it came out, and I definitely wanted to review it last week. So
the only one I didn't watch that I had planned to was Argyle. I think I'll just wait.
I still want to see that one, man.
Yeah, I want to see it, but I didn't want to see it.
I'm hearing mixed things. I'm hearing some people don't like it, and some people do like it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it when it comes out on stream for sure.
Ordinary Angels. I heard good stuff about this one. Now this is I saw Paulie's review of this when he came out of the theater. Paulie's from Latino Slant, if you don't know. He's been on the show before. But he loved that movie, but of course he's looking at it from a mindset of a guy that's in recovery, and it has something to do with alcoholism and stuff like that. So from what he said, it was a true portrayal of that kind of thing. And so, yeah, that might be a good movie to see, but not many people went and saw it. I mean, it's like 6 million. So yeah, I'm with you. I think they're holding their wallets for Dune. Let's see. We'll get into Dune whenever we get to talking about the movie, but they're predicting like an $80 million opening for that one, and it's a regular opening. It's only 3 days. I say 3 days. They start. It used to be you had to be there at midnight because they'd started on the date, right? Now they've started showing these movies like Thursday evening.
In advance. Not even that. It's like a week and a half for some folks.
Yeah. So,
or a week.
Anyway,
I saw a video of this douchebag. I know we're trying to not do Dune. I saw this douchebag who said, "I saw the new one, or I'm going to see the new one today." This was like a couple days ago. I'm going to see today, but I hope it's better than the first one because the first one just felt unfinished. I don't know if it was a part one or they didn't say it was a part one.
Yes, they did.
Everyone in the comments, like they literally have it in the title, part one. And this is the guy that gets to go see it early. Like I was like, I'm not even a Dune fan, and I would rather someone who's the bigger Dune fan, just because I never read the books or anything like that. I don't have a history with it.
Yeah,
those people should go see this, not this douchebag that doesn't even know it was a part one.
Right.
I couldn't
give me the opinion of the Dune fan. That.
But that's all. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. It's cool, man. It's cool. But yeah, the numbers bear out. No, they're not going to the theater right now. They're saving their money to go see.
No, man, Dune and then Deadpool, man. Those are it for this year, man. I think those are. I don't know if we've gone over we went over the whole list. Those have got to be the. We did right before the end of the year last year. We showed what was coming up. Remember, because you were like, can you send me that article so I can start planning now? Right. So I'm curious, like,
there are others. There's the Ghostbusters sequels coming out. I mean, there's a bunch of them.
But I'm like, but here's my mindset. What movies this year are contenders for $1 billion? And to me, it's got to be
Dune this one and Deadpool.
And Deadpool. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other that we saw.
I know Gladiator 2 is not going to make that kind of money.
Oh well,
nobody.
I think they're close, but yeah, no, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so. Ridley Scott's last one didn't do well. Napoleon. It did. I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's such a good movie. I don't know if it was okay. It was okay. What else did I watch that day? Iron Claw.
Yeah, I hear that's really good.
I enjoyed that much because I watched that last. I watched the Napoleon before I watched that. And Napoleon was just rushed. That was the problem with that one. It jumps through time so fast because he had so much to cover and so little time to do it.
Yeah,
it probably would have done better as a series, like HBO series or something.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so next up, I usually don't. I'm not down with remakes, but this one's got so much buzz. I'm gonna have to watch it, man. Jake Gyllenhaal responds to Doug Liman boycotting their Roadhouse premiere. Now, if you don't know about this, Roadhouse's premiere. First of all, it's going straight to the reason why he's boycotting is it's going straight to streaming. It's not getting a theatrical release. All right. And he announced, I think we covered this almost a month ago, that he was not going to, the director, Doug Liman, was not going to go to the premiere, which is at South by Southwest. It's a it's one of the big, up and coming movie festivals. I believe it's in San Antonio. I'll have to look it up real fast to see.
I mean, does anyone really care? I mean,
Well, I mean, this is the deal. It's getting
how
so
important
much,
are directors really at this point?
Right,
It's
right,
done. It's
but
done. All right. Like,
for a director not to go to the movie's premiere is kind of a big thing, though. I mean,
well, I saw something.
he's proud of the movie. I'm sure he made it. You know,
I don't know a whole lot about the story.
How you doing,
more
Wookie?
into it, but I saw somewhere Jake Gyllenhaal said, like, from the start they said it wasn't going to be theatrical.
That's what I was fixing to say. The quote here is this: "I adore Doug's tenacity, and I think he is advocating for the filmmakers and film in the cinema and theatrical releases. But I mean, Amazon was always clear that it was streaming. I just want as many people to see it as possible. And I think we're living in a world that's changing in how we see and watch movies and how they're made. What's clear to me and what I loved so much was Lyman's deep love for this movie and his pride at how much he cares for it and how good he feels it is and how much people should see it." Now, yeah, you see right there, he says, but I mean, Amazon was always clear it was streaming. So, you know, I mean, the guy can be mad about it all he wants. If they were always clear about it, that means the entire time he was filming it, it was going to be, I guess maybe he thought they made such a whiz banger they were going to change their mind and put it in the theater.
What is it? The women that marry
know.
a guy and think they're going to change, or they can change them and they don't change,
Right.
and then they get
Yeah,
mad.
there you go. Yeah. You can change that leopard spots, right? Yeah.
Or vice versa. Either way, you know.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to change.
Yeah, but this guy, you know, hey, good for him for sticking to his guns about it and everything. But if they told you it was going to be streaming, it's just the way it is. Now, also, this is what I'm talking about. This, I mean, look, I showed the original movie. Hang on just a second. John's back there. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
All we've talked about so far is Disney firing their guy that's over the movie department, you know, the movie production thing. I'd say firing. He's stepping aside, which, you know, they're running him out of there. And the fact that Brie Larson is kind of hinting that she's not going to be Captain Marvel anymore. So that's all we've covered so far.
One can hope.
One can hope. I don't know. I mean, there was, you know, when the first Captain Marvel came out, the only reason why people bagged on her was how she was acting in the interviews. Really, they didn't really bag on her for the movie, you know. And I personally have nothing against her, you know. And
if she can wear that tight white shirt in all her movies, I'm
right, man. Look, if she's in every movie, hang on a second.
I hate to be vulgar,
she's in every movie
know.
looking like that. Come on, bro. Come on, give me a break. But no, they didn't. You didn't hear all the Brie Larson hate when the Marvels came out. The hate was more directed at who made this thing because it's crap. You know what I mean? That was more of what we saw. It wasn't really Brie Larson hate. Matter of fact, she really looked like she had it up to here. I don't know. There was just something about her performance in that movie. She looked like she was going through the motions and just, you know, knew she was in the middle of a stinker. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, check out the look on her face. Okay. Whatever, you know, but that's all we've covered so far. We're talking about Roadhouse now, man. And there's a lot of articles coming out about this thing. This one right here, original Roadhouse writer sues Amazon, alleges that streamer used AI to replicate actors' voices. Now, what they're talking about is there was a deadline. He was trying to get the copyright. Check this out. The guy's name is R. Lance Hill. He was the screenwriter of the original 1989 film Roadhouse. Right? He filed a lawsuit against Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios and its parent company Amazon for copyright infringement. Now, what he was trying to do is he was trying to get the rights to that story, right, for production purposes, right? Hill's lawsuit alleges that he filed a petition in the U.S. Copyright Office in 2021 requesting the copyright returned to him after United Artists' claim was set to expire in November of 2023. The suit goes on to allege that Amazon ignored his claims and proceeded with the film using artificial intelligence, to replicate the voices of the actors for ADR during the SAG strikes in an effort to complete the film before the November 10th deadline. In other words, the actors were on strike, so they used AI to produce the voices to finish the film for dubbing purposes. Are you believing this shit?
It's ridiculous.
If it's true, if he can prove that they did that, wow. I could see actors filing suit against him too.
We're back on
Lost
strike.
wages. I mean, if they really did that, you know, it's either a case of this guy blowing smoke because he missed out on, he missed out on something that could have been lucrative for him, right? Or if Amazon, if the studio really did this to get this, production done by that date. Oh man, if he's got receipts and it's true, I mean the Actors Guild's going to come after him. You know that because that was a big thing in the strike, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
If it was done before the strike was settled, then they can't do shit.
You're right.
Yeah, but
look, the November 10th date is before Thanksgiving, and if you remember, actually we covered it live on air.
Yeah,
and it was the week of Thanksgiving. It was the day before Thanksgiving. I told, remember, because you guys were all saying it was going to be the next year, and I said it's going to be over before Thanksgiving, and you guys were like,
I had no
tomorrow.
idea. I didn't care about the whole thing. So.
Yeah, but
no difference to me.
But still, man, I mean, yeah, that's true. I guess they can't do shit, Let's see, John, did you see what they're going to do to Arrowhead?
That's only if the Royals move to where they want to move, and that's not going to happen because it's not going to get voted on. It's not going to be.
Did your camera move? Because we're seeing the top of your head.
By the Royals,
leaning over.
Okay.
By the Royals, you
mean
the? Are you talking about Kelsey and Swift? Is that what you mean by the Royals?
No, not those Royals.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the football team won't follow them if they move. So okay, got it. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure the crowd.
So what's the deal? Tell me about this, John. Now,
the Kansas City Royals want to move downtown.
Okay.
Want to have a new stadium built in all 9 yards.
Okay.
The voters of that county have to approve that, and the way it's looking, it's not going to happen.
Would they have to wipe out a neighborhood to do this, or?
Not really a neighborhood, but an entire business district.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I can see people getting upset about that.
What does that mean for Arrowhead? What do they play both baseball and football there? Like the
no. They want to expand and turn basically where Kauffman Stadium is now, which is the stadium where the Royals play, into like this park with extra parking and a more.
As they should with all baseball stadiums. Yeah, makes sense.
So it's and they came out with it today. I don't like it at all because it misses the one thing that they should have put. And that was that retractable ceiling on Arrowhead.
Okay.
So that way we can get a Super Bowl.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're not going to go too deep down this rabbit hole, but I say let them play in the snow for the Super Bowl.
I do too.
That's what I say.
They won't.
I know they want a clean, pristine game. Which you look every time they play it in Arizona, everybody slip sliding all over the damn field when they play there. It's ridiculous.
Listen, those rich people need to be able to walk. Okay, they need a place with a good airport. All right, because all those jets flying in. All right, so look, you got to plan these things for them. You have to cater to the rich people. Okay, that's the whole.
That's
Thing.
all.
I don't,
That's
I'm always cautious when I believe things that I see on the internet, right? For obvious reasons. Did you guys see that flight plan that they showed of planes leaving the Super Bowl? Like all the rich people that left. Like they
No.
just showed a graph of like a top down of the thing, and they had like just flight plans of all the planes that left after the Super Bowl was over. Yeah,
No.
I don't know if that was true or not, but if it's not, it was insane. A insane amount of planes that left.
I didn't see that.
I wouldn't be surprised because if you look, the Super Bowl, the reason why the tickets are so high is because there are very few available for the public. Most of those are corporate.
Yeah. Oh, God,
most of those are corporate tickets that are given out to the corporations for the game.
Fuckers that don't even watch it. I know there was that picture with the Taylor Swift party, right? They were all partying it up. And then they had like the Kim Kardashian booth or whatever, and they're all just like fucking bored. It's like, why? What the hell, dude? Why do these people get to go that don't even give a fuck about the sport? And
exactly.
Just going to a party, right?
Because it's a party, right? Yeah, because it's like, dude, this is going to be the downfall of the NFL someday.
Well, the reason why I want them to build the roof so we get the Super Bowl is because they have to have X amount of tickets for local people.
Okay.
And
that
will be my best opportunity to actually make it to a Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Telling me there's a chance. Oh man, too much.
That's so sad. That's so sad that you have to hope that your city gets a dome in order to fucking go to a Super Bowl someday.
Yeah. Minnesota's going to get one because they've got a dome now. But hey man,
at least we don't have to worry about Minnesota going to the Super Bowl.
No.
Sorry,
they went to that. No, I totally believe it. The closest they ever got was with old ass Randall Cunningham. They gone that year, and the Falcons got them. Your boy Elway's second Super Bowl. That was the closest they ever got. They went to 4 Super Bowls in the 70s. Nobody wanted to go play there in the fucking middle of January, man. It was cold as shit, but it was outside. That's why they had a huge friggin' home field advantage. The minute they moved into that dome, nope, never going to go. Freeze-dried football, as my brother likes to call it.
And they
go ahead.
They won't give us a Super Bowl right now. Just even if it wasn't because of the weather rules, because they would be afraid that it would be home field advantage.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's get back to this real quick. Let's see. Tim says, AKA local tickets for the country yokels, who the NFL doesn't like. Oh my God, yeah, pretty much. But anyway, this right here is just that's crazy to me. Now, I'm usually not into remakes of fantastic movies. This is one of my favorite movies ever. Okay, the original Roadhouse is one of the best. It's my favorite one with
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze in it for sure. And I do like Jake Gyllenhaal. I like his portfolio of movies. I like him a lot. He makes some of the stranger ones you'll ever see, man. That one, what's it called? Is it Night Stalker? The name of the one where he's like covering stuff on YouTube and stuff, and he's paying people to get in wrecks and shit like that or something like that. I can't remember. I've only seen it once, but he was an odd duck in that one, man.
Yeah. Oof. Something like that. It's something like Night Stalker. It's Night something.
Yeah. Nightcrawler. I think it's Nightcrawler. That's the
Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Nightcrawler. Yeah. But let's see. Tim says, yes, Roadhouse grabs you by the throat. I see what you did there, Tim. Yes.
I remember when they announced Nightcrawler, I got all excited because I thought we were getting a movie about
the X-Men. Yeah.
I haven't actually seen Roadhouse. So
what?
I have not seen Roadhouse.
Add it to the Noc List. Do it now. Just write it down.
Do I have to watch it before I see this one?
Look, it's wholly unbelievable. It's just a great action movie. Okay, it really is. But I can tell you this: I worked in bars, and if Jed was here, he worked in bars too. He would agree with me, and I guarantee you, Matt from Foul Ball Productions would agree with me too. Every security guard in the world in a fucking bar should have to listen to what he tells his security guys in that movie, because it's fucking true. The best coolers I've ever seen, that's the head bouncer in a nightclub, if you don't know. They've always, the best ones I've ever seen, stopped fights without even raising a fist. They could talk guys out of it. You know what I mean? They were fully ready to take care of business, but the best ones, they were known to the people, first of all. Secondly, they could talk their way out of it. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of interested to see this movie now. The release date on it, let me see when the release date is.
Ooh, Eclay's putting up fighting words there.
Uh-oh, what'd he say?
Roadhouse is overrated, he says. Oh man,
I can understand the overrated part, because, like I said, it is
so
not
you're
the
gonna send me
greatest
to
movie in the
you're
world.
gonna send me to an overrated movie?
No,
Okay,
no, that's not what I'm saying.
it's
It's an action movie from the 80s, dude. That's all I have to tell you. You know, it's not going to be completely believable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Sam Elliott's in it. He's got a great part in it. You know, it's got some really good actors in it, man. It's a good movie. And it's my favorite movie with Patrick Swayze. I dig it, man. I dig it. Let's see. That movie came out in 1989, and yeah, man. I'm gonna
sure
have.
my parents have watched it. I've seen bits and pieces here or there of it. But
Yeah,
I
I completely understand you
them.
saying that, Eclay, but I worked in the clubs back then, and I was all for it. The movie I didn't like was Cocktail. That movie was wholly unbelievable. The only things that were real about Tom Cruise's Cocktail movie was the first night he bartended, when he's wringing his socks out at the end of the night and gets mad at the waitress for calling a rum and coke a Cuba Libre because he had to look it up in the book and didn't know what it was, right? You know, the trials of a new bartender. The other thing about that one that was true is those guys down like in the Bahamas or whatever, the guys that work at resorts, yeah, they pull down bank. They make a lot of damn money. They really do. The rest of it, this spouting poetry in a room full of 1,000 people with only 2 bartenders. I worked in a 1,000-person club and it had 10 bartenders. You needed 1 bartender per 100 people. Okay, that was complete bullshit. If he'd have got up there and started spouting poetry with that many people wanting alcohol, they'd have been throwing shit at him. Sorry, they just would.
Well, the most unbelievable thing in Roadhouse is the fact that he was able to find 4-use tires with rims that fit his car.
Right? Yeah. No shit. In a rural place, right? Because
Yeah,
it was out
place.
off.
Yeah.
Yes, just under the wire for 80s action film. Yeah, it was. If you like guys in tight jeans, then you'll love it. Yeah, right. Well, that's any nightclub, though. Clay. Okay, if you ever went to a nightclub, that's everybody that's in there. Let's see. He says, yeah, of course I said cock, right? Of course I did. And a bartender needs to make everything under the sun. That's right. They do. And if you don't know how to make it, you've got to learn how to make it really fast. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good movie. You don't have to put it on the Noc list, man, but I'd love to see what you think of it. I actually showed this to the clients about 3 weeks ago, and they loved it. They thought it was awesome. But you know what? I forgot how much nudity's in that movie. It's R-rated for a reason, man. There's boobs all over the place in that flick. Woo.
All right, for unspecified reasons, I want to watch it.
Yeah, no, we don't know why, but all of a sudden he's changed
for some
his mind.
reason. For some reason, something's pulling me towards it now. I don't know.
And they're not. Yeah, it's not ugly either. It's good looking chicks. But anyway, another reason why I want to see the new Roadhouse is because Conor McGregor's in it. I want to see if he can even act, man, because he's one of my brother's favorite guys. You know, Conor McGregor's crazy. Let's see. Hey, what's up, lady?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't fool us. Noc didn't pull your leg. Don't pull your leg.
How you doing, Lady V?
It's good to see you, darling. It's good to see you. Okay, now this was sent to me today. Who was it? You or Matt that sent me this about Wendy's?
I saw it. I posted it in the chat.
That's
this
it.
one and the next one you have.
I got you a couple of articles here, and this one is actually I believe this is from the New York Post, but you always have to get their articles from somebody else. New York Times, that's where it came from. Dynamic pricing for burgers and shakes. Wendy's will give it a whirl. What they're talking about here is Wendy's, and I believe it was wasn't it one of their stockholder calls or something? He said this at.
Yeah, I think the whole thing, if my understanding of it is that they're wanting to they're going to spend a lot of money to get these digital boards out to all their stores so that they can change prices however he
like
worded
gas
it.
stations do, right?
Yeah.
And what they want to do, basically, bottom line, guys, they want to price gouge. When they're the busiest, they're going to charge you more for your hamburger. That's basically the bottom line. And yeah, it was during a conference call, during an investors call, that the guy said they were thinking about doing this dynamic pricing, surge pricing, whatever they want to call it. No, it's price gouging, guys. It's exactly what happened whenever we had an oil shortage back in the fucking late 70s.
Yeah,
there were people getting price gouging. That's what it is. It's ridiculous.
And as I said in the chat, how do you tell me that you want to go out of business without telling me you want to go?
Right? It's ridiculous. Does Conor McGregor have a speaking role? Because I can't understand half what he says. Yeah, he's Irish, man. He's full-blown Irish.
Well,
and let's see. Tim says, I love the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. What's that, John?
At least half Conor McGregor's words are going to be cuss words. So.
Oh, yeah, you know it. He talks during the trailer. Yeah, he has a speaking part. Yes. He's basically... he's basically the right-hand man of the bad guy in that one. And if you've seen the original one, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, yeah. Now, this was 2 days ago. And today, Wendy's now says it won't surge price menu items because they got blown up in social media. People telling them they were full of shit when they announced this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They walked it back really fast, man.
Yeah.
Really fast. So...
And they were like, no, guys, we totally didn't mean that.
We didn't mean that. We're not going to price gouge you.
You guys are ignorant. You guys are being ignorant.
Yeah, you're being stupid. Whatever. You know what, though? I wouldn't put it past them, man. They put that out there just to float it and see if people would put up with it. Oh, my God, that's ridiculous, man. I can't believe a fast food place would want to price gouge like that. That's crazy.
Well, I think I remember they kind of compared it to Uber was a big one that they were comparing it to, where depending on weather, traffic, availability, they change the prices on it. They do that for Uber.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is kind of understandable. I feel like you should get a little bit more money if you're driving safely in the rain and snow rather than kind of night.
There's a safety issue there, and one thing they don't ever talk about, come drive for Uber, instantly quadruples the wear and tear on your vehicle. So
absolutely, yeah, maintenance and all that stuff for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But when they when Wendy's backtrack, what happened was, so when they backtrack, they were basically just talking about the digital board, so that what they wanted to do, what they're claiming they want to do, is that when it's during the quieter times, they actually want to discount the prices, so that when it's cheap, when it's the quieter, to try to get people to come in during. So it's for the customer, guys. It's the other way around. Actually, you guys jumped ahead. You jumped ahead and made assumptions, guys. This is what we're actually going to do.
Do you honestly think that they're not going to surge from the base price, and then the base price becomes the
discounted
hours? Yeah,
right. And the base price could be whatever they want it to be, because they could say, oh well, not related, but our new base price is this. But if you come in at 3 p.m. rather than 5 p.m., it'll get discounted. That's what people accuse Walmart of doing all the time, and I'm not saying they don't do it, but it's not quite as bad as they believe.
You know what I'm hearing? You know what I'm really hearing? I'm hearing Chris Collinsworth on that one playoff game saying that kicking the extra point is 99% going to happen when going for 2 is 48%. So it's a good idea. That's what I'm hearing.
You know, Clay said, hopefully this will encourage people to eat less fast food. Well,
Exactly.
They're doing such a great job to that themselves.
Right. That I was fixing to say. That's why they're thinking about doing this, because they've already. I saw an article. Me and Danny, you know, we do that news show, right? We covered an article last week that California people aren't going to the fast food restaurants as much anymore because they have a $20 an hour minimum wage for fast food workers. And it's making them jack up prices, and people aren't going. And I saw something earlier that Wendy's is thinking about doing just this thing because they've got less customers than they used to. You know, it's they're trying to. My brother says it best: the fleecing of the American public. That's what all of these guys do. That's what they do. You know, they're going to get you nickel and dime.
And you know what's interesting, and I was thinking about it. If it meant that the workers, right, during these fast times got more money,
got more pay,
I necessarily wouldn't mind it. We know that's not going to happen, right? There's no logistical. They're not smart enough to know how to increase the pay of a worker when they do that kind of stuff to pay them more. They're just not. They probably could if they wanted to, but they're not going to do that. That's the problem. If they did, I think people would be a little bit more amenable, because the people are already trying to get them to get more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
The workers to get more money realistically and practically. So, you know, I can see where it could happen if it was, you know, actually, you know, goodwill towards the workers, which it would not be. They would not see that money.
No, they wouldn't. And that's the whole reason. Yeah, that's the whole reason why it won't fly with anybody. You know, if that was the reason, and workers were ecstatic about it, this would be a totally different story.
By the way, Netflix is going up again here soon.
Of course it is. All these things are going to keep going up.
Disney Plus just went up again.
Mm-hmm. It was last October. Netflix went up. It's going to go up again.
Yeah. All of these things are going to keep going up. Like I've said before, I don't think all of them are going to be here in a couple of years. I think they're going to be a lot of consolidation.
It's almost like there's this process as your money gets devalued, things get more expensive.
I think that's the whole point behind inflation. I think that's I'm no economical genius or anything.
I'm no econologist.
Right, econologist.
You know, I'm having trouble explaining it without shoving ice cream in my mouth.
Right. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Bidenomics. All right. This one was brought to me by Noc in our pregame show that we were doing earlier. Noc, tell us about this headline here. Scotland's
I just had this
event fail sparks police involvement. What is that all about?
Yeah, this was something, I don't know exactly when this happened, but you can see. So this was billed in Scotland as a come to our magical Charlie and the Chocolate Factory event, right? And they had all these kind of advertisements for it, AI generated, of course. That, you know, they had, you know, come join it. It's 50, I don't know what they use, pounds or whatever they use over there now. And parents, and, you know, wanted to bring their kids to this magical place, and it turns out it was just a warehouse. It was some actor that they actually paid for, an actor, a Willy Wonka actor who looks nothing like anybody's Willy Wonka. The actor himself actually put out a video about, you know, not understanding why he was hired in the first place either, but, you know, he was hired, so, you know, he's going to do his part. But yeah, they go into this massive warehouse where you can see the decorations themselves that don't actually look that bad, but they're in this massive warehouse where there's like just spare, like you go into that corner, there was like a bouncy gym over in the corner, and like that was it. And and then you just had they had videos out of this where their parents just going at it with the people that were working there, and they just demanded a refund. It was just a sham. And then, oh my God, I just found it funny. That's the only reason.
Dude, let me tell you something. The warehouse windows kind of throw off the entire disbelief thing. You know what I mean? Go ahead, John.
Was there a failed rapper behind this?
I don't know.
Look, by the pictures, it looks like a high school musical to me. It looks
this is a high school prom right here. That's
very slapped together, bro. Come on down. They got hoodwinked.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that one out of the way, and boys and girls, we had it was a bad week for those of us that are into pop culture. We've had a few people pass away, a couple of wrestlers, Virgil, who I don't know much about. John, do you know who Virgil is?
Yeah, he was the valet, whatever they call it, the butler or sidekick for the $1 Million Man for a long time.
That's right. The big, yes. Good God. I do remember Virgil now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. He passed away this week. I really don't have the details on that, guys. I found out about it earlier, and I'm trying not to cover too much wrestling on here because I can really dive off into it, guys. I'm actually been talking to Danny. We might do another wrestling show. I'm not sure. Well, I'm waiting to have the draft show with ETEP because he's a big wrestling fan. I don't know if you watch ETEP Wokey and stuff, but just about every week on I think it's Tuesdays he does it. They do like WCW pay-per-view reviews, and they'll have watch-alongs where he plays it on Discord or something, and then on YouTube they comment on it and stuff. Yeah, he's a big fan. But he's actually done some minor league wrestling, so ETEP's pretty cool about that stuff. But the big name in wrestling that died this week though was you may know him from AEW, you younger folks, Arn Anderson, the guy that was managing, helping Cody Rhodes when he was in AEW and everything. I don't know who he's running with now, but his brother Ole passed away. They were original members of the Four Horsemen. Which I don't
think Ole was his real brother. I think it was a kayfabe thing.
Is that right? Huh.
Yeah, because if you read the statement of that Arn put out,
okay,
it reads like you would put for a friend, not for a brother.
Really? Okay. All right. I haven't seen it. Like I said, I haven't really delved into it yet. But on television, he was his brother. They were the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. They were a tag team, and they were two of the original Four Horsemen. Right? Yeah, the Four Horsemen. It was Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, and Ole Anderson. Godspeed to those two. But the big one today, we just found out about it this afternoon. Richard Lewis passed away. Now, you younger folks may not know who this guy is, but I've got a little snippet here of one of his stand-up routines. And this guy, he always wore black. Okay. And his whole thing was he's paranoid that he's worried about the end of the world and all this other stuff. And he is so good. I'm going to play a little bit of it here.
He is probably, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I'll say he's probably the best self-deprecating comic that's ever been.
Yeah. He's look, I couldn't keep a straight face. That's for sure. Let's check out some of this. This is from his appearance on a benefit they used to have called Comic Relief. Billy Crystal and Robin Williams and Whoopi Goldberg used to put this on every year. I think this is from 82. I have to look at it real quick, but check this out. This is Richard Lewis at the height of his powers.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. I just heard some cattle over there. It's okay. I'm excited. I'm just a little paranoid tonight. I haven't performed in a couple of months, and yet, hey, I'm paranoid about everything in my life. Even at home, on my stationary bike, I have a rear view mirror, which I'm not thrilled about. And sadly, my last shrink, she retired about a week ago. I'm freaked out, and it was sort of a nightmare. She was only 24. I guess I burned her out real fast, and The last session was unbelievable. She set herself on fire. She ran out of the session going, no mas, no mas. You know? So what do? I'm on the road. I'm a comic. You know, you go to these clinics. There are all these rip-off clinics now. I was in Dallas. I had this therapy amusement park, Six Flags over Bellevue, you know, and I use those phone services, 1-900-you-wacko, which is a big thing now. But hey, what's my problem? For me, I have bad posture. I have low self-esteem. I'm unhappy about it. I could blame my parents. I want to blame my parents for practically everything. Look, after high school, I said, what should I do? I have no idea what I should do. And they went, well, we think you should run away with the circus. And that wasn't good for me.
I just wanted to share some of it because that's the kind of guy he was. He was a lot of fun.
Look at those shoulder pads on that.
Yeah,
jacket.
my God, man. Yeah, he's really built himself up, didn't he? It's freaking crazy. Let me see. I thought I grabbed that article, but I guess I didn't. Let me pull that up real quick. I know I've got it in the thread. Okay, here we go. I've got to change what I'm sharing here. Yeah, died at the age of 76. Now you might have seen him on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was a regular on that show. Yeah, really funny guy.
Yeah, he had Parkinson's.
He had Parkinson's, but he died of cardiac arrest is what he died of. And his wife Joyce and Lipinski thanks everyone for all love and friendship and support, and ask for privacy at this time, like they usually talk about. So, if you never got a chance to watch this guy, he ran the circuit with guys like Andy Kaufman, Richard Belzer. It was all the guys from the late 70s and early 80s. Yeah. Really funny people, and I'm a big fan. You know what, John? We need to do a show about stand-up comics because I do love them. I think they're fantastic. Yeah. I really do. And he was one of my favorites, man. I love the guy.
He was one of my birthday brothers.
Really?
Same birthday. We shared a birthday. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Obviously, different year. But,
obviously, you're not 76 years old. But, yeah, the guy was funny as all get out. And he was one of those guys that didn't curse. You know, he was extremely funny. One of the nicer guys we ever saw, really. Let's see. Eclay says, I remember him in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yeah. He was in a few movies, not many. His thing was stand-up comedy. That was his thing. And he was so good at it, man. He really was. But he constantly beat himself up all the time. You're right. He was the one guy that really knew how to make jokes about himself. He could laugh at himself really, really easily. So, Godspeed to Richard Lewis. He really was one of the best, man. Noc, first time you've probably ever seen this guy. You really need to look up some of his stuff. If you like good comedy, you should look up some of his stuff because he's.
I'm not much for 80s comedy.
Really? Oh yeah. Well, I tell you what, some comedy's timeless, man. I mean, I know they don't want you listening to the Bill Cosby stuff now because he was such a bad guy and all this stuff, but I grew up on it, and that guy he was a riot, never cursed once in his life. I mean, that guy was hilarious, man.
One of my favorite comedy albums of all time is Bill Cosby's Why Is There Air?
Why Is There Air? Yeah. Mm-hmm. His sports album is the one I love. I could listen to that all
I think the only one I can listen to would probably be Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams, Reality, What a Concept. I bought that when I was a kid. I used to collect because my dad did, and I listened to all his Richard Pryor albums and Bill Cosby albums, so I got the bug. And I think the first one I ever bought was Steve Martin, Let's Get Small. That's a riot. And then, Robin Williams, Reality, What a Concept.
And then, I grew up with the country, so, you know, Bill Engvall, Jeff Foxworthy, Ron White. Those are the main stand-up guys for me growing up.
Yeah. Foxworthy, dude, that guy was pretty good. I enjoy that guy. And I don't know Ron White as well. I've heard his name a lot. I hear he's really good.
They call him Mr. Tater.
Yeah.
They call my son Tater Tot. Hilarious. Dude's hilarious.
Is he? John, go ahead.
Not to say I was never a big Ron White fan. I don't know, but I like Bill Engvall, and
Bill Engvall is one of my favorites of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Your Sign is one of the best jokes of all times.
Yep. Here's Your Sign. Yep. Yeah, Wookie, Bill Cosby Adults Only is great. Yeah, it is. I mean, John and I grew up amongst some great comic minds, though. I mean, shortly before I became a teenager, I mean, the guys that my dad introduced me to was he wasn't a big Lenny Bruce fan. I mean, Lenny Bruce broke a lot of barriers, but that's who I was just fixing to mention. Tim, you beat me to it in the chat. Red Fox, God rest his smutty soul, guys. Yeah, if you've seen Sanford and Son, you didn't see anything he did on stage because that guy was filthier than any comic I've ever listened to. Red Fox is one of the dirtiest comics of all time, man.
He was bluer than a Smurf.
Yep. Hey, Matt, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good.
We were just talking about the death of Richard Lewis and talking about some of our favorite
and the death
ever.
of comedy. You know,
I was
gone.
watching you guys while I was eating dinner, and first thing I heard when I sat down was Clay's comment about Roadhouse being overrated.
Yeah, he said it's overrated.
Oh man,
that movie will teach you everything you need. Okay, if you watch The Godfather and Roadhouse as a male, you don't need to watch any other movies in your life.
No,
like
that you need Roadhouse and Godfather. Yeah,
every lesson you need to learn in life are in those two movies.
Yeah, they are. Biggest guy in the world, smash his knee, he'll drop like a stone. Yeah.
Pain don't hurt.
No, pain don't hurt. Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
I'll get plenty of sleep when I'm dead, Doc. That's my favorite line in the movie, man.
Yeah, be nice until it's time not to be nice.
That's it, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, you really should watch that one, Noc. You would enjoy it, man.
I use I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yep, I'll get all the sleep I need when I'm dead, Doc. That's my favorite line in the movie.
I occasionally will, when someone will say, "Oh, Matt, you're the best," just kind of as like a compliment.
Yeah.
There's been several times in my life where I've remembered the line from Roadhouse and said, "No, Wade Garrett's the best."
Yeah, right.
And they all look at me like, "What the hell is he talking about? Who is Wade Garrett?" Yeah.
I got a couple of those out there that I reference.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Let's see what do we got here. Tim says in the Dean Martin roast of Red Fox, they said he pulled himself from the gutter. However, he left his mind there. Yeah, absolutely. One of the funniest jokes I've ever heard. He told in a stand-up, and it was one of the cleaner ones actually. He said one hooker is talking to another hooker on the corner and says, "Do you smoke when you finish?" And the other one says, "I don't know. I never looked." That's kind of mentality he had. It's freaking crazy, man. But yeah, Richard Lewis, I loved him. I thought he was great. It's always cool when somebody can laugh at themselves. You know what I mean? So yeah, I really enjoyed him. So, did you want to comment on any of the other things we covered there, Matt?
No, really, only one I wanted to comment on that I heard was Virgil, and that's because when I was about 9 or 10 years old, WBF came to my town, and they had an autograph signing where they made a few of the wrestlers available a couple hours before the event. And I can't remember who all I got to meet, but the two I remember that I got autographs from and got to speak with for a few seconds or whatever were Big Boss Man and Virgil. Yeah, and we've lost Big Boss Man years ago, and lost Virgil here today. I did hear that as Virgil got into his later years that he was pretty ornery, pretty really tough to deal with, like at events and stuff, at signings. But sometimes that happens. Maybe he was a little bit bitter that he didn't reach more stardom. Don't know.
Right? Yeah. Who knows? I met. I've told you before. I've got his signature over on the wall. I met Ted DiBiase. That guy is a big dude. And they call him Pastor Ted now. I mean, he's a devout Christian. Yeah. But I got to put the $1 million belt on my shoulder and take a picture and everything. It was cool, man.
Yeah, his Ted's son, I don't know, he got messed up in some, I don't know, it was money laundering or.
No, it's the same thing. He's involved in the thing Brett Favre's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Food stamp.
Stealing lunch money. That's what he's into, man. Yeah.
Yep. Ted Jr.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Tim says Red Fox clean. That is rarer than finding a virgin in Los Angeles. Yes, absolutely. No doubt. Yeah. Red Fox, his stand-up is nothing like what you see on Sanford and Son. nothing at all. He couldn't do that on regular television.
So
Okay.
Interestingly enough, yesterday there's a road out in the rural part of the neighboring county that I live in called Red Fox Lane.
Mhm.
Like it's REDFOX.
Yeah.
And so literally watching the news yesterday, and they said a fire on Red Fox Lane, and I'm like, well, that's not who, they're not thinking of who I'm thinking of when I hear
right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now Red Fox could say that stuff on TV. Yeah, he could probably get away with it now, but back then, no, he couldn't do it then. I think that was a popular show, and another comedian that was on back then. Didn't Freddie Prinze Jr. start as a comedian? I think he did.
Freddie Prinze Sr.
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Sr. I'm sorry, Jr.
So.
is the one that was in all the movies in the 90s. Yeah, I think Senior was a stand-up comedian before he started on Pedro and the Man. Yeah,
and I think he was stand-up when he was like 17 or 18. I think he started.
Yeah, really
pretty
early.
Young.
Yeah. But that was the two big shows back in the day that had stand-up comedians on them. Let's see. They did not mute the N-word on Sanford Son. Yeah, really. I haven't watched enough episodes to even catch that on there. I really couldn't tell you. But anyway, okay. So that's it for the pop culture update. You guys know what's going on. Now we got to talk about the movie that I have been waiting for.
Yeah, we're not going to do the Google Gemini.
Oh, that's right. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I figured you were saving that for last.
That. I forgot. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. Hang on a second. You know what? I don't know if I pulled down an article on that though.
Oh,
I'll have to look one up real quick, but I can show you some of the images, boys and girls. They've shut down the Gemini art portion of their AI because for some reason, when you ask it to come up with a German soldier from the World War II era, this is what you get. Yeah, we all know that the Aryan nation always had Orientals involved in it and African Americans.
Yeah, they were a very accepting people. So,
well, the term Aryan comes from India, so yeah, and the swastika. So maybe they're just that smart, that they figured that out.
Let me see if I can.
Very progressive.
Actually, this is what when you infect a AI with TDS.
Yes,
this is what happens.
Stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was very funny, and a lot of those photos, I wish I could have actually seen it myself, but by the time I learned about this, it was
disclaimer: these are ones that we pulled up off of other articles, boys and girls. We didn't see these ourselves.
Confirm their nature, but there's a reason why they pulled down the site, or at least the function, right? So, but yeah, they had show me the Pope, and it was it was not the Pope you're thinking. Show me Vikings. Right, and they had color skin, in the photos. It was very, very weird how it was. Of course, conservative, Republicans are gonna be like, they showed no white people. Of course.
You mean the Pope?
It seemed like legitimately they weren't.
So the Pope doesn't look like Aquafina in real life. Is that right? Not a thing.
Hey, you back off Aquafina. I like that.
Right. Watch it now. Watch it. Okay, I got that. Yeah, for some reason. Thank you so much, Noc, for reminding me about that. I did pull up articles on this. I'm pulling it up on my history now so I can get it in here. Come on, sucker. Send the damn thing. I might have sent it to the wrong thread is what I did. But anyway, here we go. Let me get this up real quick. Yeah, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, I don't know how to pronounce these names, man. Says its AI app problems are completely unacceptable. I want to address the recent issues. This is a statement by him. I want to address the recent issues with problematic text and image responses in the Gemini app. He wrote this in an email to employees on Tuesday that was first published by Semaphore and confirmed by Google. I know that some of its responses have offended our users and shown bias. To be clear, that's completely unacceptable, and we got it wrong, is what he's saying. So yeah, they've shut that down. Apparently, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. At least the video or the photo.
The photo
Rendering
portion
or
of it.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Where they show you pictures and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But AI is not going to be perfect right away, right? We know that.
No.
But in this case, it was a little iffy.
You think?
Yeah, it was very strange, and because me and Joe were talking about, man, I had a thought and I kind of lost it, but
there were SS units, Turkish peoples, India, and Muslims. Yikes! Yeah. What was it? The Pope? They had
yeah, the Pope,
African American Pope,
Vikings,
right?
They had Vikings,
female popes too.
Yeah, female popes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, but AI is not going to be perfect. And I was talking to Joe before the show started. I just remember my thought. And Matt, you might appreciate this. When I was going back and looking through the history of college football teams, right? Apparently, according to Bing or whatever it was I was using at the time, their AI thing, apparently almost every college football team was started by the two same guys about 50 years ago. That's when you look up how did Idaho football start? It was literally it was two guys went to their president and pitched a football team.
Yeah, the Wright
and
brothers.
So when you look up like
the Wright brothers,
bunch of teams, yeah, when you look up a bunch of different teams, they give you the same exact history for like a lot of them. That it was just two guys that came together and pitched it to their president, and it's the same two named guys. So I knew there was something a little up when they give the same people that 50 different teams.
Yeah, and I'm sure they probably say something like, in Alabama football was started in 1997. Like,
yeah, right.
Probably
right before Nick Saban got there. Tim, what Tim said here about the Turkish, Indian, and Muslims. Yes, he's making sure people understand. He's not joking about that. That actually was part of their force. But yeah, none of that EA is going to be really, it's the refinement of it that needs to take place. But those images that they had coming out. Look, I've been using AI apps for a while now for image creation, and we could do a whole show on AI. Is it good? Is it bad? Kind of thing. I'm in the middle on it. You've got guys like Christopher Moonlight that uses it a lot. He loves it as a tool, that kind of thing. You've got guys like our guy Martin Acosta Santana that thinks it's pure evil. I'm kind of middle of the road on it. I'm an artist, and it doesn't threaten me at all. People have always been able to manipulate graphics on a computer. Whether they take it the long road of using Paint back in the day on the old Microsoft shit, or if they use Photoshop now. You've always been able to do that. They just have a quicker way to do it now. Now, for me, what I use it for my thumbnails. It's just something that's easier for me to do. It makes my job a little bit easier. And but if I'm going to do a piece of art for somebody,
that's AI.
Yeah, that's AI right there. And I made you one with your Chiefs hat on too.
Yep.
I remember
Very
back
cool.
in the day. So, but to get it a Chiefs hat, right? It didn't have the Chiefs logo. I had to manipulate it and put the Chiefs logo on it, right? It just made it faster because I didn't have to draw it, right? But I use it as a tool to give me creative ideas, but if somebody's commissioning something from me and they're paying money for it, John just needed something for an avatar and I made it for him. I knew I could do it quick. I did it easy. But if somebody's going to pay me money, that's when I get my pencil out. I might do something up in AI and look at it and use it creatively, but my pencil is going on an iPad or it's going on a sketch pad on my drawing board behind me. The AI is not doing it. I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And that's, and one of the things, the only thing AI has made me do, and it actually may add a little cost to what I do, is I'm recording everything I do. That way I can prove to people, hey, AI didn't do this. I did this. Let me show you. This is me actually drawing it. You know what I mean? So I document all of that process now, where I wasn't doing before.
Wasn't even necessary before.
Wasn't even necessary before, but now I've started doing it. I've actually asked some of my customers, "Hey, would you like the recording of me drawing this?" Just because of AI. I actually offer that to people, and a lot of them are like, "No, I don't need it," but I could see why somebody would want that. You know what I mean? I always ask them. Yeah,
it seems like there's several hallmarks of AI. The fingers and the hands. Not looking right.
Yeah. Fingers are going to be jacked up right away. They've improved it, but yeah, they're going to be jacked up. They're going to have extra fingers. They're going to look like spaghetti sometimes. There's some telltale signs.
Another thing I've noticed is they're overly glossy, overly perfect in the face. And a lot of times, if they have multiple people in the same picture, all their faces look very similar. There's some hallmarks. One thing I did want to mention, Noc was talking about two brothers starting football everywhere. Well, there was a guy by the name of John Heisman, who the Heisman Trophy is named after.
Hello.
He went around starting football programs or taking them out of their infancy. He did that Auburn, Clemson, Georgia Tech, I think Penn. But the reason why I mention that is, of course, I'm an Auburn homer. The reason why Auburn and Clemson are both orange and tigers is because John Heisman liked that mascot and color. So he took that from Auburn when he went up to Clemson. So their first uniforms were Clemson's first uniforms were old Auburn uniforms.
Really?
So anyway,
wow.
There you have it.
There you go. A little history. Yeah. You only get it here, folks. Let's see. Rocco the Brave says AI now, I think, is fine. I think people are fearing where it's going, as in writing movies and books, and other people fearing the Skynet scenario too. Laugh out loud. Hey, man, that's what AI. Go ahead.
If AI can write better movies than the crap writers we got now, I'm all for it.
Well,
you're why they're picketing John.
There's been speculation that Madam Web and the Marvels were both written partially by AI. That's real
sense.
speculation.
They were made by Google Gemini.
There you go.
It now.
They were made by Google Gemini. That's why they sucked. That's why
they're going to rename Google Gemini Google Black Girl Magic because of that. Because of the Marvels. I can't believe that line was.
Wait, is that like full circle? Is that like full circle? AI created its own name. Like, would that be
right?
Would that be?
It's a paradox. Yeah, that's it. That's it exactly. Yeah, I couldn't believe that line was in there either, dude. That was like I'm like, man, come on. That Samuel L. Jackson's character was really respected in the Marvel universe until Disney got him, and they have turned him into a joke. Yep. Between Secret Invasion and these last few freaking Marvel movies they've put out with him in them, dude, the Marvels, he was nothing but a joke. Nothing but a joke. All he was doing was trying to do comedy.
Yeah, he was the Korg. He was Korg.
Totally clashed with where he left Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
So, like Secret Invasion, he supposedly had this character arc, where he it was supposed to end up more mature and calm afterward, and then you get the Marvels, which it's almost like whoever wrote the Marvels and whoever wrote Secret Invasion there wasn't much.
They never collaborated. They never even took notes from each other.
Like,
and this is supposed to be a continuous universe, right?
You're making a movie. Wait, you're making a TV show? Oh man! Oh crap!
With that said, I still think Thor: Love and Thunder might be the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen.
Yeah,
think about arguably the worst Marvel movie has Christian frigging Bale in it. I don't know how that's possible.
He was the only good thing in it. He was the only good thing in it, and he's only in there for 10 minutes, though.
Such a waste.
I would put the Eternals a little higher on that crap list.
Yeah.
Well, I fell asleep halfway through that.
So he can't really judge it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Not
he
really,
said that I've ever seen. Okay, so hey.
Okay, hold on. A thought for the future. Do we need to do our top 5 worst Marvel movies?
No, we could do that.
We've done our top. I think we've done multiple kind of like top 10s or top 5s. Do we need to do our top bottoms?
We could do that.
Bottom 5.
Do we want to limit it to Marvel movies, or do we want to say superhero movies and do the DC too? because if we do that,
I feel like that's too easy because I think most of them would be DC.
okay, so
Let's stick to Marvel. Let's make it
we'll stick
Marvel.
to okay,
Yeah.
we'll make
Smaller
that
match.
not next week, but maybe we'll do it the week after
Yeah.
because next week's all about the March movies, so we got to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So to John's point, Eternals was kind of like Ahsoka in the sense that both are just a bunch of scenes that happen to be together, but there's not any. We're not really going anywhere in the scenes, and
Yeah, they just
don't
had a
know.
bunch of stuff on the floor, and they were like, "Let's tape them together."
and then
Like
the, you know,
throw tape at them and see which ones
you got
stick
the
together.
Celestials in the Eternals, and nothing is ever said of them in movies that come after that.
Remember,
we have a giant statue, stone, celestial halfway out of the Indian Ocean, and nobody mentions it.
Yeah, nobody ever mentions it.
So I don't know if this is true. From what I understand, the reason behind that is it's at different times of the timeline. So when all these other stuff is going on, that event hasn't happened yet in Eternals. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I heard as the justification.
If you watch the Eternals, if that's the case, then Endgame happened in a different timeline to it too, because
it happened before.
They mentioned half the planet disappearing for 5 years in the Eternals.
Right. So all the events that have happened in all the movies so far have been before Eternals. That's what I'm saying. Like it all happened. Like Eternals is further along in the timeline, and the only thing that's passed it so far officially seems to be She-Hulk because it was mentioned in an article. Like that was my understanding of the reasoning. I could be wrong on that, but that's what it made kind of sense to me.
They pulled that out their ass, Noc.
No, absolutely. I think it was totally retrofitted to do that. Absolutely. I could totally buy that. I totally acknowledge that. I'm just saying that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just figured out Noc's last name, Feige. That's his last
name. He is friggin' going to bat for that guy.
I try to make things. I like connections between things, and I read what I read. So
I was gonna say
I will try to make sense of it if I can.
I was going to say, Noc, do you remember pre the Eternals? Remember all the way up to Endgame? Every movie built on the next one,
right?
And when it took place before that, they actually told you this takes place before this. Now they don't even let you know
where it is. Nobody knows where it is. It's so
they want it very ambiguous so they can make that claim you just made.
Let's
right?
make so many plot holes so we can put anything we want in those plot holes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, one movie I know for a fact hasn't had plot holes yet. Let's hope it doesn't. The one I've been waiting for since the first one came out. Dune 2 is coming out this weekend. I've got to wait till Sunday to see it because a buddy of mine has to work on Saturdays, even though I don't work on Saturdays anymore. Damn it. But
I'm doing my part.
I know you're doing your part. Dune Part 2 to revive Baron box office aims for spicy 80 million debut. I'm sorry, I think it's going to make more than that. I really do. I think this is going to be the first big hit of the year. If you remember when the first one came out, it was one of the I don't want to say one of the first, but it was in that time period where Warner Brothers decided to do the fans a solid since they were locked in because of COVID and released everything both in theaters and on streaming in that 1 year. Remember, the last movie they did that with was the Matrix movie that they put out, the fourth Matrix movie, which I actually paid to go see and was so saddened when I did. But anyway, it really hurt the box office for this. Even with that going on, though, it made $400 million. The first one did. So that tells you the power of the franchise. That's for sure. Dune is one of the biggest science fiction novels ever written. This is the third whack at making it a major property, a major franchise. Of course, we all know about the David Lynch movie back in the 80s. Sci-fi. Now, you're a big sci-fi fan, Noc. Did you watch the miniseries? Or, John, did you either one of you guys watch the miniseries?
I never heard about Dune before the first movie, or part one.
Really?
I watched both Dune and Children of Dune.
Yeah, they did both of them as miniseries on Sci-Fi.
Yep.
Yeah. Were they good? I mean,
they weren't horrible.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the knock on the 80s movie was they tried to cram too much in one flick, right?
Yeah.
They tried to tell the whole story in 2 hours, and there's actually cuts of it out there. Didn't Gary do a show? Was it last Saturday that he did the show on the Dune fan mix that they made?
Yeah,
where they got some of the stuff that was cut out of it and put it back into it and stuff. But the knock on it was it's too big for just a one movie, right? And that's what I liked about them doing it, and especially with this director, because I love this guy's stuff. He makes really good movies. I really think this right here with the first one, they did all the world building. If you've seen the first one, you're not going to walk in there blind. You know what the score is, you know, yeah, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. I can't wait. And the thing about it, I like about it is they're not dumbing it down for you. They're actually telling this story like you're an adult, and it's an adult sci-fi story. I really am digging that about it. First of all, let's get everybody's thoughts about the first movie. Let's revisit that. Noc, the first movie, what did you think of it, not even knowing anything about the Dune universe at all?
No, I like it. Listen, anytime you have, and this is why I was hoping so much for Rebel Moon, you know, anytime you got spaceships and I don't know why I said that with a southern accent. Spaceships and you know, just, you know, cool armies and just, you know, stuff like stories like that, you know, I'm always going to be interested. I'm not, you know, I don't enjoy every sci-fi thing, but I enjoy things that are a new world, a new creation that someone has thought up, and giving you a universe. Obviously, my favorite universe is Star Wars, but you know, I do appreciate when you have stuff like that where it's a not fully, but it's like a built universe and a story, and they just go with that. And seeing the different world. I always like, you know, movies and shows that show different worlds, you know, that kind of thing. And this case, it's really only one sandy world, but that's okay.
Well, actually, you're going to see a few of the other ones this time. I mean, you got glimpses of them in the first one, but you're actually going to see where the Harkonnens live with their black sun this time. I think that's really neat, man. I love
that's what I want to see more of the, like, you know, the reason why I got more into Andor, because we got to see more of the back stuff of the Empire, right? That's what I want to see in this one too. A little bit more of the back stuff.
Yeah.
Between what all this stuff, you know, what's going on, because I don't know the story, right? So I don't know what's going on with
Do you feel like they gave you a good introduction in the first one?
Yeah, I know my brother. I mean, I'm going to go see it on Sunday with my brother, and he was like, "Oh, hopefully they show more action this time." So I felt like, we needed the first one to showcase, you know, what's going on and what the story, a little bit about the guy and his powers. Apparently, he's an oddity because he's a male that has powers, and they don't usually do that, or it's forbidden or something like that.
Yes.
So that's an interesting thing. And then, you know, and then seeing how special the people are on that planet is kind of interesting as well. So,
well, I got to tell you something. I know you're a big Star Wars fan. Did you know that this story is one of the biggest influences on your boy George Lucas?
Yeah, you mention that every time we talk about Dune. So yes.
Oh yeah. But it's not the only one though. He tried to, when Lucas came up with the Star Wars story, he researched every hero's journey throughout time. You know, Beowulf. You know, oh God, what's the one that the
Odyssey
Coen Brothers movies based on? The Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey.
Oh, Brother,
he did that. He looked at that one. He looked at several of the hero's journeys.
I'm sure he probably looked at Kurosawa movies too.
Oh, he did. Right. R2D2 and C3PRs take trips straight from the Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, right. So I'm not saying that it was his entire motivation, but it was one of the big ones. He's definitely said several times that he's a big fan of that story. But Matt, what did you think of the first one? Did you think they did a good job of introducing the universe to us?
Well, I am ashamed to say that I have not seen it.
Mm.
But I will say this. At least they got was it Villeneuve? I think is how you said it.
Yes.
At least they got him instead of like a JJ or a Roundhead Ryan or any of these other guys.
Are we gonna have to start a Matt list?
Right? Are we gonna have to start a Matt list?
We may have to. There's a lot I haven't seen. There is a lot. I have seen like Bikini Shop and other 80s movies like that that have some scantily cladness in them. So I've got that genre covered.
There you go. All right, cool. John, what did you think of the first?
I liked it. I have a soft spot for the David Lynch 84.
I do too. It's a good movie. I tell you the go ahead, man. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
But yeah, no, it's just I like how they and I've read the books. So
see,
and I like
you're probably the only guy on this panel that's read the books because I've never read the books.
I have started. I did start the first book. Unfortunately, the problem I'm having, and it's an issue where I need to reread them through after I finished it one time. They throw so many names and nations and people's names at you in that book that I'm just like way over my head because I know none of these people.
Right.
So, but sorry,
Tim, yes, he's talking about the 84 one. That's the one he likes. Yeah. That's the David Lynch one. Yeah, absolutely. Or let me hit this real quick before we continue, John. Rocco the Brave says Madam Web had potential with the character. They had Julia Carpenter. That's who I wanted to see in there too, baby. I know exactly who you're talking about. I love as Arachne went back and read her origin and Secret Wars with her. Yeah, absolutely, man. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry. I was
gonna say as it was when it came out before we realized it was David Lynch. It was Alan Smithy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I tell you that one right there. One of my favorite scenes. And well, that's a spoiler. I can't talk about that. We'll talk about it next week after we've seen it. Your homework, Matthew, is to watch the first one and go see the second one. Damn it.
I need to. I agree.
Yeah.
It's
it's on. If you've got access to HBO Max, well, you can find a copy of it. Trust me. It's a good movie, man. And what I like about it, guys, what I liked about the first one is he really is doing a lot with we're talking about a budget that with the amount of star power, look at the cast of this movie and remember this number when I tell it to you. The budget for the first one was $165 million. With the cast that they have in that movie.
Yeah. Not bad.
That tells me that they paid most of that money to the cast and not as much on special effects. And you can't tell it on the screen because those special effects are dynamite, man. I don't know who did the CGI for those shows. And I'm thinking a lot of this may have been like Star Wars, actual miniatures and stuff like that, enhanced by CGI. Because these things look, the ornithopters in that first movie, wow, I was just blown away by those things. Those things were awesome. I didn't think I'd see a ship that I like better in a science fiction show. Now, this is just me, guys. Don't read me the riot act. I like the Vipers from Battlestar Galactica. Those are my favorite ones.
Yeah,
okay.
Those are awesome.
The original show. Now I can't remember what they look like in the sci-fi series. But
that's the only one I've seen.
Okay, well,
they're pretty awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, those are my favorites, and I didn't think I'd see anything that rivaled it. The X-Wings were really cool in Star Wars. Don't get me wrong and everything, but man, those ornithopters, I want one of those suckers, man. I do. Yeah. That's just freaking cool to me.
Apparently, Lego makes a huge, one of those.
With the success of that movie, and it would have been. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that movie would have come close to $1 billion if it hadn't been in the time of COVID. And even with it streaming on a major streaming network, it still made damn near half a billion dollars. That's insane.
So just to cut in real quick, just so you know, Dune 2 has a budget of $190 million.
190. The first one was 165, and they said that this one was more. Yeah.
Yep. So to be successful, it will need to earn $3 $380 million to break even,
Yeah.
and $475 million to profit due to its high budget.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can it make $500 million?
Yeah, this one's going to. I said that after seeing the first one. The only thing that kept that first one from making money was what Warner did with the streaming. That's the only thing that kept it, because I think people, even with the lockdowns and stuff, would have gone to see this. They would have.
So do you think it'll make $1 billion?
Ooh, I'd love to see that, but I don't think it's going to make it. I think this movie's going to. I'm thinking 800.
Yeah.
I'm thinking around 800,
which is still great. Like I'm not,
it's fantastic.
That's still a complete success.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'm curious to what our 1 billion marks are this year.
I don't know that we're going to get one.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier. I think the best chances at it is got to be this one and Deadpool. I think.
But the thing that's going to hinder Deadpool is it's rated R.
Yep, that's exactly
rated R.
Yep.
So that's going to hurt Deadpool.
Wasn't Oppenheimer rated R? And I know it had the Barbie effect as well, but that almost made $1 billion.
It didn't though.
It was like 980 million.
But it didn't though.
I'm just saying.
And I'm just telling you.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, right?
Horseshoes and hand grenades. It was
if you add in DVD sales, it made $1 billion.
Well, we could look back at this 10 years from now. A bunch of these movies make $1 billion with DVD sales, right? But anyway, yeah, look, guys, I am so hyped for this. Yeah. I can't wait. Noc, you haven't seen the 80s version, right?
No, I think I'm going to go back and watch them after this. I don't want to get spoiled.
Please do it after, because there are so many great moments that are coming in this movie that you are going to enjoy, man. And I can't wait to talk about it with you next week, because oh man, dude.
Well,
yeah.
Our rating didn't hurt Joker. I don't think it's going to hurt Deadpool 3 either.
I just don't know.
I feel like Joker and Oppenheimer were kind of their own things.
Yeah.
They were unicorns in a way.
You know what?
I just think Deadpool's so
you have
popular.
A point there. And yeah, you have a point there. Deadpool, the plus is Ryan Reynolds. Let's face it, the plus is Ryan Reynolds.
And Hugh Jackman wasn't supposed to do Wolverine anymore.
No, he wasn't. And people are going to want to see that again, of course. Right? So, but
I guess the explanation...
It's not just the R rating. The other thing about it is what the MCU has become. People aren't into it anymore.
Yeah.
How much did the Marvels make? It's been a steady decline since No Way Home. Since the Spider-Man movie, it has been a steady decline.
I think it made about $350.
I don't even think it made $350. It was like $270. $270.
No, I'm talking about $3.50.
$3.50? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So Joe became Mike Tyson there for a second.
That's it. Yes, I got the list, and my voice went a lot higher.
You're going to fade into Bolivia.
Yeah, I am.
When he said that was great.
But yeah, I am so, dude, I cannot tell you guys how hyped I am for this. I really am. Yeah. I can't wait to see it. And it's really going to be special for me anyway, because just the clips, and from what I understand, the stuff we've seen in the trailers is just scratching the surface of this flick. We haven't seen the good shit yet, you know? Oh man. From the first worm ride and all that stuff. Oh, dude, that's going to be, I can't wait. It's going to be so great.
This fight between Paul and Fade.
And Fade. Yep. That's, wow. The whole thing's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. I really can't. And I love the girl that's playing the Emperor's daughter. What's her name? Florence Pugh. Yeah. I dig her.
Oh.
I dig Christopher Walken. He's playing the fucking Emperor. When I saw that, I was like, Jesus, man. Wow. They're pulling out all the stuff.
Oh. And the treaties.
Right. What? Who does he think he is?
As long as Christopher Walken doesn't have a scene where he talks about having a watch up his ass for several years, then we'll be okay.
Paul, you're coming at me all wrong.
He needs more cowbell on Arrakis, right? Yeah, that's it. Exactly. So anything else you guys want to bring up about the new Dune movie? Are you hyped to see it? As I know none of you probably are as hyped as I am, but I really can't wait. it's.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this for so long.
I'm just not sure I'm going to get to see it because I'm paying for rent and deposit.
I hear you.
Friday, so
yeah, hate it for you.
Unless Allie takes me, and then that'll be.
Did you hear that, Allie? Take him to the movies. Take him.
I got super lucky. I got mine for free. So.
Yeah, tell him about that, buddy.
So because I'm doing the cons next week. I mean, it's coming up so fast. February flew by. To the Awesome Con in DC, and so I joined the Awesome Club, the VIP Facebook group. If you were a Club Awesome is what they call it. You can join their little special Facebook group, and they just give you insider stuff and tips and stuff like that. Well, someone posted on there. One of the admins posted on there. Hey, we got promo tickets for Dune 2 for 2 people. Let me know if you're interested. It was 2 first. And I caught it during the day, and and I saw it, the post, and I was like, hey, if you have any left, because they said they had a limited amount, and there was already a couple people that had already asked for it. Like, you have any? They emailed me the promo code, so all I had to do was set up a Fandango account. I could pick my theater, I could pick my time, I could pick which part of the theater, whatever, and then when I go to pay, I just put in that promo code, and it was free.
Bam.
Cool.
He's going to see Dune 2 for free.
And I was telling Joe before the start of the show that I was like, is this what VIPs feel like? Like, is this what rich people feel like? You just, when you get into those special groups,
just throw things at you.
They just give you free shit. I was like, man, now it's my life goal to be rich because I just want free stuff now.
And that's when I told him about the cost of the gift bags for fucking the Academy Awards. So they're approaching like $250,000. These things that they give out at the fucking Academy Awards. It's ridiculous.
So just so I can connect all the dots here, Noc's getting insider access, and he's praising Marvel movies. I'm just
listen.
It's starting to scare me, man. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep Noc around much longer.
I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that.
His last name isn't Feige. It's Campia.
Right.
Not Campia. There we go.
I'm turning around this whole Disney thing, by the way.
We are going to have a review of it next week. John, I hope you get to see it because I really want to talk. Well, the good thing about it is for John, there's no spoilers. He's read the book. He knows what's up with it. So we're not really spoiling anything for him.
And for Matt, he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. So
I've got to get into the books, but those books, it's like eating a Chicago deep dish pizza.
It's like reading Tolkien. It's the same thing. If you like world building, it's for you. But it's very involved, man. It's very involved. Yeah,
you got to be focused. You got to have 8 hours. You got to have 8
Mandingo
hours
Noc.
Yeah. Oh, so we're talking about Virgil again, huh? That was always a rumor about Virgil.
Oh my God!
I've watched too many shoot interviews.
Well,
it will be. Go ahead.
I'll say if you just if you're going to read the books, just a word of advice. After you get past God Emperor Dune, it gets weird.
Gets weird.
Actually, God Emperor Dune is weird, but.
I have a great resource for everything Dune. I just call my stepson. He is the biggest Dune fan I know. He's read all the books. And from what I understand about this one, he's either going to have a big problem with the end of it, or he's going to be really hyped. You know what I'm talking about, John? Have you heard that story? Yeah. So it should be fun to see. Let's see. Sylvester Stallone is Mandingo. Oh yeah, he's the Italian stallion. That's right. Yeah, you know.
Well, he did do some of those films before Rocky.
Corn.
Yeah, he did. He did that at one time. Yeah, he did. Okay, so last but not least, boys and girls, we actually are getting back to one of the features of the show, the Noc List. Noc actually has some reviews from some of the films that we put on the Noc List for him. So, Noc, you go ahead and let us know what you've watched and what you thought of it. And we'll talk about each one individually.
Let me see if it'll let me do this right here.
Okay. I should have brought up the shows. Let me go back.
I got it. I got it.
Okay, you got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Put me in, coach. So the first now totally by accident, right? All the movies I watched were actually from the 70s. I watched 4 of them. I
Mhm.
mentioned it in our text chat, but yeah, all 4. I did not plan that out. It just happened. Yeah, what happened was, and so the first one I started on Sunday morning. I'm trying to make Sundays my watch day. So since there's no football,
Right.
so I started with The Jerk. I woke up and I felt like watching The Jerk because I knew
Now
guys
you
would
got
tune in.
this. You got this from us last week because I was covering it on. It's only
Yeah,
talking roll,
you-
right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you got to
Mhm.
watch this. I was like, all right, I'll wake up and watch Steve Martin, play a black guy. So that was that was, now I know where Fool's Gold comes from now. So it's kind of a I enjoyed it. It was very good, very funny film. Just how he bumbles around and just that innocence, that naivety, of his character, just going from place to place, just somehow just getting richer and richer. and the whole gag at the end on how he loses his money was very funny. The cross eyes, that was very good. So I really enjoyed this one for sure.
I need to interrupt with a real quick story. So I once had an employee. He was about your age, Joe, at the time.
Okay.
And so he would have this movie as a frame of cultural reference. He decided, and it was a white guy. He decided to go up to one of my 30-year-old, 25-year-old black female employees and say, "I was born a poor black child."
Oh.
No, he didn't.
She had not seen the movie.
Oh my god.
She is the type of person that doesn't find humor in a lot of things. So
oh my god.
You gotta listen. I
you gotta know your audience, man.
You gotta know your audience. That's the number one rule in comedy. And I'm not claiming to be a comedian or anything like that, but I appreciate comedy for sure. And that's
that's
you gotta
silly.
know. You gotta know your limits.
Yeah.
Wow, laugh out loud. Oh god, yeah. That would be bad. Just a little lore for you, Noc. This was his first major motion picture with him as the headliner in it. This was the first one. He pretty much put this together himself. He had help with a couple of writers, but this was his baby. This was his first.
It's good to know, even when in his early 20s, he had white hair. So that's
dude, yeah. I mean, you'd have to go all the way back to when he was working with the Smothers brothers in the early 70s to even see him with his actual. He had dark brunette hair when he was young, and but yeah, he turned gray when he turned 30. That's exactly what happened to him, premature gray, but he still got a full head of hair, but it's all white now. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is one of my favorite movies ever. His special purpose, right? He had to found out
I've got a special purpose. Yeah.
He had some big balls to do that. Yeah, no kidding.
Again, another movie.
That's
you
a dummy's
do
what
today.
it is. Not knowing his audience. Yep. Or a knucklehead. Exactly. Right, Matt? No doubt. But yeah, it's not his best movie, but it's one of his funniest. It really is. The whole thing with the cans and the guy trying to pick, he was so hyped to have his name in the phone book. My name's in print. Things are going to start happening for me.
Boom! Random guy. I hate you, random guy.
Die, gas pumper. He hates these cans. Just too damn funny, man. I always tell people that this movie is what would have happened to Forrest Gump if he hadn't interacted with famous people. This is what would have happened to it, right? So, John, where does this rank up there for you with the Steve Martin and his long legacy of comedies?
Man, I'm not like a super Steve Martin fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm like Three Amigos. I'm Roxanne.
Roxanne is excellent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those, that era. I mean, The Jerk is fine. It's a good movie, but and it's for the time frame it's in. It's no wonder it's considered a classic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not really a huge Steve Martin fan. I'm just I just
they
never got into him that much.
They couldn't make that movie today. That's for sure.
Oh heck no.
They couldn't make it today at all. Matt,
I did appreciate that jazz gave him rhythm. I did appreciate that.
He never had rhythm, man.
But when he listened to jazz, he did. So I thought that was great.
Matt, any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm not a big Steve Martin fan either. I mean, the Jerk's okay. It's been forever since I've seen it. I guess Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is about the only Steve Martin movie that I enjoy.
Really? I bought his stand-up albums. Like I was saying, I used to listen to a lot of comedians. My dad told me when I bought Let's Get Small when I was in middle school. I bought that album, and he looked at me and he goes, "That guy's an idiot. He'll never go anywhere." And I was like, I talked to him a few years ago, and I said, "Yeah, so what do you think of Steve Martin now, Dad?" He goes, "Yeah, I missed the boat on that one. That guy's pretty damn funny."
See, Joe, what you say there instead is when you said my dad said that guy's an idiot, he won't go anywhere, and then you talked about Steve Martin.
Right. Great.
Yeah, the next one I watched was All Quiet on the Western Front.
Now this is something I've never seen, and everybody tells me it's a great movie.
Okay, you did watch the proper one, right?
So there's 3 different ones. There's a 1931, there's a 1979 one, and then there's a 2022 one. I watched the 1979 one. That was the one that was recommended to me on the list. Mm-hmm. So that's the one I watched. And obviously, to compare it to something for me, obviously it came after, but was Band of Brothers. It was very like the German side of Band of Brothers was what it felt like to me. They even had the training, training camp. They had the whole battles and everything. They had the, so to me it was it was the German side of Band of Brothers. To me is how I would best explain this one. Great film. I enjoyed the whole thing. It was absolutely good watch. I am kind of curious about the 2022 version, which is on Netflix. 2022.
It was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture last year, bud.
It was.
So,
So I'm kind of curious for seeing this one. I'm glad I watched this one first, though.
This one is still the superior because I've seen all 3. This one is the superior of the 3.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, John. Tell us what you think of that film, because I've never seen it. I can't comment to it. I like a good war movie, but I just don't get to see him that much. I was raising a daughter, and my wife doesn't like war movies, so I don't get to see all of them.
Just look at the 3 stars in the cast list, just right there.
Okay.
Richard Thomas, Ernest Borgnine, Donald Pleasance.
Richard Thomas, that's John Boy. Huh?
John Boy, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Borgnine and Donald Pleasance. Well, yeah, there you go. That's A-listers right away, no doubt.
Yeah, and
Richard Thomas really didn't have a big movie career, but he was big on television for quite a long time.
And if I remember right, this was a made-for-TV movie originally.
Was it? Okay.
I think it was. Okay. Let me double check that to make sure, but I think the acting is a lot better in this one. Mm-hmm. The story moves a lot smoother than it does in the original 30s one.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the original 31's kind of janky.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is it looks the best thing about the 2022 one is it looks better.
Yeah. Cinematically, it's pretty.
It's more epic. It's more epic than this one is.
Mm-hmm. Matt, have you seen this film?
So the only one I've seen is the 1931, and I enjoyed it in part because I did. I think it was in middle school when I saw it, and it was one of the first movies I've ever seen, and one of the first things I can ever think of that sort of like, I don't know if you'd say red pilled or black pilled or whatever the term you want to use, but sort of made me aware of the fact that people running governments see the young men that they get to sign up to go into combat. They do see them as cannon fodder in a lot of cases, and that they're really just pumping sunshine up your butt in a lot of instances. So it's sort as a kid, that was one of the first things that kind of opened my eyes to that these old men that tell you need to go fight, that they're not necessarily your friend.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily patriotic.
Mm-hmm.
I was right because I remember watching it, and that's why I was sure. But yeah, this came out in '79 on TV.
Okay. All right. Very cool. All right, Noc, what else you got, man?
Yeah, so the next one was Taxi Driver.
You talking to me?
You talk.
Yep.
Hey, you talking to
I
me?
finally got to see the scene where he is talking to himself. Yes.
Which is a great scene, man.
Yeah.
No, it was very, and I obviously I have to compare this to newer movies, right? Because that's what
Right.
I've seen, and I'm going
Yeah.
back and seeing older ones. So obviously I understand that the movies that I'm watching now probably influence the movies that I'm comparing them to, right? So
Right.
I
Right.
fully acknowledge that. So
Mhm.
for me, it was very much like a Fight Club and American History X kind of vibe in this one.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can see
Was
that.
how I got it. Just some of the craziness to me was kind of like the Edward Norton kind of
Yeah.
like craziness, with him fighting.
Yeah, the guy
himself.
was not all there. No.
And so
Yep.
then the storytelling just kind of reminded me of American History X, the way he told the stories.
Did you see how this might have influenced the Joker a little bit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's seeing all the putrid,
Mhm.
things in the street, and and it's driving him insane.
Who is in the Joker?
Yeah.
Robert
Yeah.
De Niro.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, as the host, yeah, as the host, yeah. So, really dug this movie for sure. It was definitely kept me engaged the whole time, just seeing what he was going to do. Was a bit of he did a bit of a push out, before the end though, with that politics he was going to do. But I was disappointed in him. For that. But,
you want to see him go full gonzo?
No, well, he did all that prep, and it was
right?
like, okay, and then he just ran away, So I was a little disappointed with that. But yeah, he ended it well, with going after the druggy guy. So
yeah,
no, I definitely could see why this one's on the list for sure. It was definitely a good movie, definitely worth watching.
Yep. Have you guys seen it? I've seen it before. Jodie Foster, you could tell she was going to be a big actor the rest of her career, and she was a teenager when she made this movie, playing a hooker, of all things. Oh my God,
she was definitely underage.
She was underage, but man, wow, what a performance! And the ending was really ironic. I dug the movie. I think it's great. Martin Scorsese actually shows up in the film. He's in the back of the car, talking to him at one point in the movie.
It's one of those movies that I saw it once and that was enough. Like,
yeah,
I respected its originality, but
right.
It was not. It was like watching The Last House on the Left, or
right.
Like I
it's a movie you don't rehash over and over again. Yeah, but, absolutely.
I really enjoy watching this movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching this lunatic.
Schindler's List.
Got hookers. It's got everything in it.
You don't want to watch it multiple times. For the life of me, though, I can't figure out. No one has tried to impress Jodie Foster the past 3 years, and I really wish somebody would at least consider trying to impress Jodie Foster. And I think that's as far as YouTube will let me go with that.
I see what you did there.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Unfortunately, that's going over my head, so you'll have to explain that after.
I can't.
We'll split. Well,
I guess I can historically. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll explain it to you later, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one I didn't finish Sunday night. I finished it Monday night, the next night, because I made it to intermission on Sunday. Patton.
Oh, dude.
Patton.
What a great movie.
The first time. So that was the last one on that I had watched. So
and I agree with Joe. If there's an actor that was born to play a role as much as RDJ was born to play Tony Stark.
Yeah.
George C. Scott was born to play Patton.
Yep, to play Patton. When his name is mentioned, I don't even think of Patton's face. I think of George C. Scott's face.
Yep.
Yeah, look, the picture that you see right there, the opening of the movie where he's addressing the troops in front of the American flag, is one of the most iconic scenes in movie history, man. It is so fucking great. And it tells you everything about the man. But go ahead, Noc. Tell us what you thought about it.
No, I thought it was great. It what's funny is, especially because even though it was World War I, All Quiet on the Western Front really got me in a World War mood. So Patton was, after I did Taxi Driver, was like, I got to go back to a war movie. So that's why I went with Patton, and I started watching all these videos on you. I went down that rabbit hole. Of World War II. After doing Patton. And yeah, it's just it was great. It was great. They didn't pull any punches in this one against him. They didn't paint him in a pretty light.
No. As a matter of fact, they showed the side of him that's a little bit kind of loony. He was a little bit out there, but most geniuses are. He walked that line. He did.
Making his soldiers, go 100 miles, in the snow in 2 days. Kind of thing. That was his mentality, like in that. So it was very interesting. Because I think what made me go down one of the rabbit holes was I don't know much about the African campaign.
Yeah.
So that was a real nice, introduction to that, and then I went more into it after I watched the movie to kind of get a better idea of it. Because I really, most of when you think World War II, you always Normandy Beach. Right.
You're thinking about Europe. It was a world war. They were in North Africa, all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was, So, and I was hooked. The only reason I didn't watch it to the end because I had to, get up for work. That's the only reason I cut it off at the intermission. I was like, which, to me, we need to bring those back.
Yes, we do. You're absolutely correct.
These long movies. I love these long movies. Yeah. I want them to be 3.5 hours long. I really do. But I need a break.
Because they're leaving it all on the field, as we say in football, right?
And I'm perfectly fine with it being 3.5 hours. Give me 5-10 minute break, please.
Yep.
That big gulp isn't going anywhere.
You could have convinced me that Stanley Kubrick directed this. To me, it kind of has a Kubrick.
It does.
At least like the opening scene and some of the other some of the pacing with it.
Yeah, it is one of the best movies ever made. That said a lot about movies, but this one actually is. And I'm with you on the intermission thing. They need to bring that back.
I don't know if there's any actors or there's very few that could carry a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
The way that George C. Scott carries this movie in Patton.
Well, he's in other movies and they're notable, but not like this. Not like this. I mean, I remember laughing at him in a Kubrick movie in the Dr. Strangelove flick. He's hilarious in that fucking show. He really is. But the only other movie I really remember him being the lead guy in was Hardcore, and that's one of those movies like Taxi Driver you don't watch every day. That's something you watch once and you never.
Have you seen Taps?
I love Taps. I asked Gary if he had any intention of doing that on Military Monday because, dude, that movie came out in 1981 when I was in ROTC. We loved that fucking movie. It was first. It was Tom Cruise's first appearance on the big screen.
Well,
it was in that movie right there.
My headcanon is that was actually Patton that didn't get assassinated.
Right. That's Patton when he was retired and he was back and he was teaching at a school, right? He was running a military school. My favorite character in that movie is Ronnie Cox. God, you had to mention that flick, dude. I could do an entire show on that movie right there. I'll just leave it at this. I love the part where he's talking about honor to him and he goes, no, no. He said, I'm a soldier. And he goes, no, goddamn it. I'm a soldier with the main goal of every soldier to stay alive in times when it's not all that easy to do. He said, somebody sold you on the idea that death is a good thing. And he's like, it's not like that. I love that scene where he's telling that kid that stuff.
Taps was also Sean Penn's first movie.
It was both of those guys, Cruise and Sean Penn. Both. And you need to add that to the Noc List, buddy. Yeah. If you don't have it there, you need to add Taps to it. Absolutely. Now, it's a great movie.
About Patton that I really liked is Carl Malden. I forget what general he plays, but he superseded Patton.
MacArthur.
No, he wasn't MacArthur. He was Montgomery.
No, wait. Yeah,
Montgomery's British.
In this movie, you mean? Yeah.
He's Montgomery.
No, Montgomery's British.
No, he's not
Montgomery.
Montgomery's
British.
Yeah,
he's Bradley. He's Omar Bradley.
Bradley.
He's the one the tank's named after. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Carl Malden, he's so realistic and grounded in that role.
Yes.
That it's like a nice counterweight to Patton being so over the top.
Well, I think, and it shows in the movie, wouldn't you say, Noc, that he actually kind of reined him in when he needed to? He helped Patton out.
He did, but he would also. There was a scene where he's like, where he has the headline of a newspaper. He's like, listen, put him on the front page that he's good for another 30 miles. Like trying to egg him on.
Right.
Trying to push him to keep pushing when he was doing that sweep across Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I think Patton is the epitome of being an American as well. Just that American spirit of, F everybody else. F our enemies, F our allies. We're doing it our way.
Yeah. Oh, he did not. Wow. He didn't like that British dude. He didn't like that British general at all. What was his name?
No, it was Montgomery.
Montgomery.
It was Montgomery. Yeah, that was the guy.
He was racing him in. He was racing him in Africa and Sicily. No, because his little speeches. I know I'm a prima donna, but hell, at least I admit it.
Yeah,
my problem with him is he won't admit it.
Have you seen? Hang on. Have you seen his film Hardcore? Turn It Off. Yeah, that's a rough one. It is.
I also enjoyed George C. Scott in the Mike Tyson biopic from the 90s. So this was like, I think Tyson was either in prison or just gotten out. And Michael J. White, to me, is great as Mike Tyson because Michael J. White can actually kick some butt.
Yeah.
But so that was a pretty good. It was an HBO movie. But George C. Scott.
Did he play Customato in it?
Yep.
No shit.
He was good in that role.
I did not know they made a movie about Mike Tyson. Wow.
Now, again, it's an HBO movie. It's not,
right.
Gonna
I got you. Hey man, some of those HBO movies are good. Gary did one not too long ago with Tommy Lee Jones in it called The Park Is Mine. Did you ever see that one? Ooh, that's a good movie. Yeah, it's about a military veteran that gets fed up with crime, and he becomes the Punisher in fucking Central Park, and it's called The Park Is Mine.
So, real quick, I know we're running up against it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to watch over the next week because obviously the big one's going to be Dune. So I don't know how much I'm going to see this week, but a couple on this one because I took pictures of my list a while back, so it's not the full list.
Right.
I'm not going to say everything, obviously, but a couple that I'm looking at: Chinatown.
Yeah.
12 Angry Men.
Oh shit! Wow. One of the few movies that went from stage to screen. That started off as a play, and
I still need to finish Gone with the Wind. I got about an hour into that one.
Yeah,
so I still got to finish that one. Then I'm thinking maybe because I saw maybe Schindler's List. I think is what I like.
Paul Winfield is Don King in that movie. Oh, how cool! Yep, cool.
Oh, Schindler's List. Yeah,
Schindler's
that's going to be.
You got to be. Don't. I wouldn't. Don't watch that one right away. That's another one like Taxi Driver. It's a one-off. You're never going to watch it again because it's brutal. It's in your face.
Also, if you're going to watch Schindler's List,
it was something funny.
Yeah. Yes.
Also, watch Schindler's List on a sunny day.
Yes.
Make everything bright because it's going to suck you down big time, dude. It's. Well,
hang on. Okay, so hang on. I have my my comedy list here somewhere.
Okay.
Let me check my notes. So you tell me which one to pair it with. I know they're here somewhere.
Okay.
If Sadness was a movie, it would be Schindler's List.
It would be Schindler's List. Yeah.
Well, that and Leaving Las Vegas.
How about Princess Bride? Is that a good one?
Yeah, of course. I still can't believe you. I can't wrap my head around the fact that you haven't seen The Princess Bride. That's
wow. Leaving Las Vegas is also one that it's great. You watch it once and then you're done.
Once and you're done.
Yeah,
it is too damn realistic.
Or Howard the Duck. How about that one? I'll do.
There you go. There you go.
Schindler's List and Howard the Duck. How about that?
There you go. That's a perfect double feature, bro. You're gonna laugh at not only the movie itself, but how bad that movie is. Really, it's cool.
All right, that's it. So, well, also, I'm not exactly sure because I have my full list in the car, but it's raining and I didn't want to go get it. So,
yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Gone with the Wind. I don't give a damn. He says, "Yeah, no kidding."
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Watch Schindler's List in the Benny Hillifer. He's talking about watching Benny Hill, which is all boobs and comedy. Yeah, Benny Hill's awesome. The theme song is iconic. Okay, boys and girls, we're up against it. We got to get going. Anybody want to push anything besides what I'm going to push here this evening? No?
Nope.
Okay. Well, let me let you guys know that we do this every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Next week, State of the Atmosphere is going to be all about the March movies, and we are going to have a Dune review. So look forward to that. We'll try and keep it spoiler-free, but I will, put markers on it so you guys can tune in and out if you have to. But definitely come back next week at 5:30 p.m. Central Time for State of the Atmosphere. And then, of course, here at 8 o'clock, here in about, 20 minutes or so, me and John will be woofing down some food as he starts to play Pal World on Pop Culture Minefields channel on game night. And just a reminder, he also plays Uncharted, right? On this night, but he's bouncing back and forth. And on Fridays, he plays Detroit Become Human, and Noc actually shows up on that show with him on Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Awesome, the first two goes.
Yeah. They're having a good time with that. I can't be there with them because I work that night, but definitely check him out on Pop Culture Minefield on Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then, John, I'm going to have to leave a little bit early tonight because Christian DeLorme is doing a show all about one of my favorite bands of all time, Triumph. We're going to be talking about everything Triumph at 9 p.m. Central Time on Christian DeLorme's Vinyl Revivals channel. So you guys come check us out over there when you're done with John. Or if you're more into the music side, come on over at 9 o'clock. But come check us out on Christian DeLorme's Vinyl Revival channel for everything Triumph, my favorite Canadian band. And then, of course, on Fridays, you can check out Sketching the Privateer, me working on my passion project, my comic book, The Story of America's Pirate Patriots. And that comes your way at 1 p.m. Central Time every Friday afternoon. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time, you can watch The Brothers Hack the Matrix. This is my political show. It's me and my brother Highlander bringing you the clown show that is 2024 in this week's headlines. So check that out at 5 p.m. Central Time. And then I'm not sure if it's going to be this Sunday or not, but the MFR Roadhouse is going to come your way late on Sunday nights. At the earliest, it's going to be at 9 around 9 p.m. Central Time, maybe 10 p.m. Central Time. Just depends on when he wants to start it, but he's waiting on a few bells and whistles that are being made for him. But once he's got them, we're going to start off the MFR Roadhouse again. It used to be on Fridays. It's moving to Sundays late. So come check that out on Jed Revenwolf's channel whenever that's available. To go check out his channel and subscribe to it so you can see when it's coming on. Sam, Ruben, and myself will be regulars, but John might show up. Matt might show up. Just depends on who's up that late on a Sunday night. We're going to have a bunch of people there. And then I'm actually going to move my Sunday night gaming to Wednesday. So I'll talk about that here in just a second. Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time on Military Monday, Morning Coffee with Gary on Pop Culture Minefields channel. It's one of my favorite costume movies ever. No Way Out. And if you're a fan of Will Patton, this is one of the first movies he was in. He plays a crazy person in it, and it's freaking fantastic. It's one of those Cold War epics, man, spy stories, and it's really great. Come check it out. 10 a.m. Monday morning on Pop Culture Minefields channel. And then at 4 p.m. Central Time on It's Only Talk and Roll, I think we're going to be talking about this guy's name's Cozy, his first name. I can't remember what his last name was, but he was a drummer with Emerson, Lake and Powell. That's his last name, Powell. Cozy Powell. Yeah. That's his name. And Brian's been wanting to do a show about him for a while. So he played with Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. He was a drummer for Black Sabbath at one point. He played, if they needed a drummer, this is the guy that did it. And come check out his story at 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday afternoon on That 70s Rock Fans channel, the story of Cozy Powell. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to be playing Beyond Two Souls this week at 10 p.m. Central Time. And I'm going to move my second show to Wednesday nights. And I'm thinking about the first show on Wednesday nights. And this is after your show, John. I'm going to do it real late, around 11 o'clock, because I don't have to be up till later. But this Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to be playing Beyond Two Souls. And then I'm pretty sure on Wednesday, I'm going to let the folks decide what I'm going to play. I'm going to put up a poll on the community tab and on X, and you guys decide what I'm going to play. I'm actually leaning towards Mass Effect, starting that game, but I don't know. I'm going to put a few games up and see what people want to see. So we're going to officially move the Sunday night gaming stream to about 11 o'clock on Wednesdays. So that is everything you need to know about my channel and several others. So if you've got nothing to do coming up, go watch John's channel. Or no, excuse me. It's on Pop Culture Minefield's channel. It's John playing Pal World. I'll be there for the first hour, and then I got to go to Christian's Vinyl Revival. So anything else you guys want to let folks know about before we get out of here? Are you good to go? Good to go? Okay. Well, then, boys and girls, I want to thank Noc, Matt, Small Time Republic, and John Das Wolfen for being here. And until we see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless. Schindler's List with Benny Hill music?
You talking to me? You talking to me? I don't think you're talking to me.